Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome. My name's Brin and today we're going to do Yin Yoga. So with Yin, if you'd like to, you can have a prop. I have a pillow that's from the bedroom. You can also grab a blanket or whatever feels most comfortable and kind of helps you prop in a way. So we're going to start with a little bit of a meditation or just simply syncing up with our own breath. If you like to, finding whatever seated position works best for you. If you do have that pillow and you want to elevate the hips, you can bring it behind and gently sit, or a blanket or whatever works. For me, I like this a little bit more, just as nice around my hips. So finding that seated position wherever it may be for you. And we're very simply just going to start with connecting with our breath. Good. Palms can be on the legs, face up or face down. Using our inhale to lengthen. And our exhale to just soften. So with Yin, there's three things. First thing is we're going to come to an appropriate depth in a pose. We're focusing on the connective tissue, so we're not focusing on the muscles. We want to take the muscles out of the equation a bit, being very gentle in our poses. The second thing is we're just going to find stillness in that pose. And then we'll just remain for a while. So you might find that we're holding the poses a bit longer today. If anything is ever uncomfortable or pinching or anything like that, move, adjust, find your Goldilocks pose, your one that's not too deep, not too shallow. That perfect pose for you. Okay. Listening to our own breath. We're just going to simply find some silence. Your eyes can be closed or open. So from here, we'll just take 3 more breaths, just observing the breath. No need to create, just observing what kind of breath the body has today, your body has today. Very slowly and with intention or attention, we are going to move ourselves into a butterfly pose. So we're going to bring those feet together. And we're not, like we do in Yang practices, we sometimes go and then we slowly go and find that wonderful stretch in the inner thigh. Today we're taking the muscles out of the equation. So if you do have props or pillows close by or little blocks, you can always place them under the legs. If you don't, that's okay too. Gravity is okay. We can always work the feet out a little bit more, or the hips back. And from here, we're going to move to your appropriate edge. If you'd like to, a pillow is wonderful for this position. So we can gently maybe hug the pillow. And we're just going till maybe we feel something around the hip sockets. So just feel something. If it is pain, back off a bit. Adjust. Going till you can observe and not be painful. Okay, so finding our first edge. So going to where you find your first edge. If you do start to notice the body just gently moving forward bit by bit on its own, that's okay. But if you want to now, you can move to a second edge. So just very gently maybe moving the prop a little bit deeper, settling in, finding stillness, and just remaining for some time. We'll find edge number 3. So that's once again moving the prop maybe a little. You can always stitch the prop at this time too. But just going nice and slow, letting everything just melt in. If we ever feel pinching or tingling, come out and readjust. Wherever we are, we'll take our last 3 breaths here. If you can hear my door, I'm sorry, the wind is just howling today, so the door is moving. After your last 3 breaths, we're going to work ourselves up nice and slow using your hands. So very gently, using the hands, walking it up. Yeah, my pillow unwinds. We're going to place the hands on the outsides of the legs to help bring them up and together. And then we can bring the feet up to the sides, maybe bringing the hands behind the back here. I'm going to do windshield wipers. So just letting the knees drop down from side to side. Finding a very gentle counter pose. If you have anything that feels natural here to counter, go right ahead. So listen to your body, countering how it feels best for you too. Okay, slowly come up. Awesome. From here, we're going to bring ourselves into a very gentle Sphinx pose. So we're going to move that pillow maybe, wherever it needs to go. And then coming onto hands and knees, we'll just walk the toes back gently, allow the abdomen down. We do not have to go to a push-up position. Just working ourselves onto our abdomen however feels best. And from here, we're going to bring the forehead on top of the hands. So slowly letting the forehead come to the hands. Resting here to start. So if we like to, we can walk those hands out in front. Resting the forehead down. We're going to move to our first edge. So we might walk the elbows gently up. Notice how this is for the low back. So if we have previous low back injuries or anything in that lumbar region that we need to take care of, just gently take care of it. If we notice that we start to clench up, just let go. If we're clenching up to protect something, come out of it. Take care of ourselves. So coming to that first edge where we maybe gently feel something, maybe in the low back, in the neck. We can let the head drop here. So in yang poses, we're always very lengthening through the neck and everything. But yin, we're letting go. So finding our first touch. The body feels ready to go to that second edge. We can walk the elbows up a little bit more, but it might be a little bit and it might be not at all. So observing, finding where you want to go. Gently on our own time, moving to our third and final edge. We might walk the elbows right underneath the shoulder blades here, allowing everything to gently sag, gently sink in, observing how that low back is, and if it's okay. Okay, we're going to gently come out of this after 3 breaths. So observing our last 3 breaths here. To come out, we're going to walk the elbows out very gently from side to side. Make any noise you need to. Allowing the forehead to just gently come to the hands once more. And then we're slowly going to bring the hands to the sides. We're going to work ourselves into a balasana, a child's pose. So coming out as slowly as you need to. If you feel like you need to cat-cow or go through a couple cat-cows here, go right ahead so you can exhale. Arcing the back up. Inhale, drop the belly button to the ground, opening out through the chest. Exhale, sending the spine up. Chin to chest. And then on our inhale, drop the belly button down, open out through the chest. Maybe one last time on your breath. And then gently sinking to your version of child's pose. So if you'd like to, you can go into an extended child's pose. Or today, if you want to, you can bring the knees closer together, toes still together, allowing the hips to sink down towards the heels. If this is uncomfortable for whatever reason, we can always bring a pillow underneath the hips in either child's pose, whatever one works. If that helps, we can allow the forehead to gently come down. If we want to, wrapping the hands around or letting the hands just drop and the arms drop, relaxing through the shoulders. finding your edge and finding your stillness. If we're in an extended child's pose, reaching the arms out in front, toes together, knees apart. Moving around if you need to, and then gently finding your spot where you'd like to stay. From here, if the body just naturally let go, is finding that if we need to move a little, rest in a little bit more, or move a prop to adjust, go right ahead. Finding our second edge. Finding our third and final edge if we need to find minuscule movements or no movement at all. That's always an option. So paying attention to what feels good to you. Come out of this. You might just start by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Taking 3 final breaths maybe before we come out. Slowly bring the hands up beside the ribs, maybe. Allowing yourselves to gently move into hands and knees. So we're slowly peeling ourselves out of this one. Oh yeah. I feel like we just need to move from side to side a bit. Go right ahead. We're going to move very softly into melting heart pose. So what we're going to do is bringing those knees underneath the hips. We're going to walk the hands forward, allowing the hips to remain up at the sky. This might resemble a puppy pose, if you recognize it from Yang practices. Okay, so observing maybe where you feel something. Taking our time here. You might feel this in the shoulder joint, resting through the forehead here. We can check in with the back, with the spine. This is called melting heart pose. Meeting our first edge and finding our breath and some stillness here. We like to, finding our second edge or just staying exactly where we are. We might walk the hands forward a little bit more, maybe pick the forehead up and then set it back down. Going to a third and final edge. If we ever need to go into child's pose at this time, go right ahead. Being gentle with your body. Come out of this after 3 breaths. Just first observing your 3 breaths. We're slowly going to peel ourselves up, off, moving into a gentle Sphinx-ish pose. Sphinx-ish, walking the toes back. We're going to bring the hands side to sides. Letting that forehead melt down, peeling ourselves up off the ground. Moving those feet around, so bringing those feet out in front. And we're working ourselves onto our backs. So take your sweet time getting onto your back, one elbow down at a time. Once we get there, we can gently hug the knees into the chest, possibly. Relax through the shoulders and the jaw here. If you need to rock the hips from side to side, sending some love to your spine, go right ahead. And then we're going to find a nice spinal twist here. So bring the knees over to that left side, but this time, if you'd like, we're using the pillow. So bring the pillow right pretty much where those knees would land. Allowing the hips to go over to the other side. So you can be very gentle, still observing the shoulders and trying to ground through the shoulders here. And the back body. Finding that very gentle twist. Maybe softly letting the opposite arm out to the side. And relaxing the gaze inward or over to the opposite side, so allowing ourselves to just settle in. Observing, making sure we're not pulling or tugging. We're letting gravity really do the work in this position. This pose, we are not going to do 3 edges. We're just going to remain in this one for 3 more breaths. And being very gentle with ourselves, we might use those hands to bring the legs back to center, maybe hugging the knees into the chest again. And maybe just thinking of letting the weight of the legs rest easy, rest in. And then we'll gently go to the other side, maybe putting the pillow on the other side first. Right where those knees would land. Moving the hips the opposite direction, letting the knees just gently settle over. If we need to bring it closer underneath, go right ahead or move the pillow further out. And then finding a gentle reach with the opposite arm. Letting the gaze look over or inward. Taking 3 last breaths wherever we are. And then maybe using the hands once more. So we bring the knees back to center. We're going to move ourselves to our own Shavasana. So from here, if we want to with that pillow, we can bring it underneath where the knees would be and just gently settle through the legs. If we want to, we can move that pillow or put the feet on the ground, the knees up in the sky. I'm already starting to yawn. Okay, hands can rest on the abdomen or outside the side. So moving around a bit just to find where we want to settle for our own Shavasana. With Shavasana, we're not about a meeting at edge. We're simply about paying attention to our breath. Just observing the breath, taking the role of the observer. Letting go of whatever doesn't serve you, leaving it here, and just taking what we need. So just giving ourselves some time here to remain with our own breath. Wherever you are, you can just stay here to finish class. If you'd like to, maybe gently just bring the hands to heart center into prayer posture. Taking one final breath together. Nice long inhale. Extending the exhale. The nose or the mouth. Simply observing how you feel. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. You're Yinsters now. Woohoo! Till we meet again. Namaste.